I want to start off today with a direct challenge for you. Try to name just one truly great historical achievement that was accomplished by a single person working completely, like 100% alone.
Yeah, you're going to be thinking for a while. Because honestly, if we look at the historical record, there really isn't a single example.
Right. But that completely contradicts that whole lone genius trope we see in movies all the time. You know, the brilliant innovator locked in a basement having this world-changing eureka moment.
Exactly. It's a huge myth.
And looking at the fascinating stack of research and the notes you sent us on Napoleon Hill's classic Think and Grow Rich, we're going to see why this myth is actually a massive obstacle. Our mission for this deep dive is to basically debunk that self-made myth entirely and uncover the exact framework history's greatest achievers actually used.
Right, because Hill has spent 20 years studying 500 of them, and he found zero solo acts. Zero.
Yeah. Crazy.
It really is a profound realization. Hill called this framework the mastermind principle. And what's fascinating is he didn't just notice they had teams. He cracked the code on how those specific groups function differently than everyone else.
Okay, so let's unpack this. Since we know no one succeeds alone, what makes a history-altering group different from, say, just a really boring corporate meeting?
Well, it comes down to three specific elements Hill identified: coordination, harmony, and a definite purpose.
Okay.
Coordination is the simple part, right? It's just actively combining different skills. But harmony is the real catalyst here.
How so?
Think of it like an orchestra. You can have the best musicians in the world playing loudly at the exact same time, but without tuning to the same pitch. It's just noise,
Yeah, that makes sense.
right? So that genuine goodwill and mutual support, that is the harmony. Without that harmony and a shared definite purpose, a group is literally just a committee.
I love that distinction. So basically, without a definite purpose and harmony, a room full of brilliant people is, just a high IQ book club socializing.
Yeah, that is exactly what it is. But when you have true harmony aligned toward a specific goal, it creates this reaction that produces results way beyond what any individual could do.
Which brings up the actual payoff of curating this dynamic. Hill points out two distinct benefits, right?
He does, yeah. The first is economic, which makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
It's the practical combination of your network and my resources.
Right, the tangible stuff.
Exactly. But the second benefit is where things get really interesting. He calls it the third mind.
Okay, yeah, I have to push back a little here because he describes it as a psychic or spiritual creation of new intelligence. And I'm sorry, but that sounds incredibly mystical, like we should be lighting incense in the boardroom or something.
I know. It does sound deeply metaphysical at first glance.
Yeah.
But if we look at the actual mechanism of how it works, we can ground it entirely in practical reality. The third mind isn't magic.
So what is it then?
It's cognitive synergy. When two people with different backgrounds debate a complex problem, and they do it with total trust and harmony, the friction of their perspectives generates a completely new third idea.
Oh, an idea that literally did not exist in either original brain.
Precisely.
Ah, so it's not some ghost in the room. It's the invisible bridge built between two distinct viewpoints.
That's a great way to put it. And the results of tapping into that collective third mind really speak for themselves. Look at real-life entrepreneurs like Andrew Carnegie, for example.
The steel magnate.
Right. He didn't build U.S. Steel by knowing everything about metallurgy. He built it using a mastermind of 50 men who rigorously challenged each other toward one single goal.
Oh, wow. And Henry Ford, too. I read he deliberately surrounded himself with experts in areas he just didn't understand.
Oh, yeah, completely.
Like, he even had a row of buttons on his desk just to summon the exact specialist he needed for any given problem. And Thomas Edison was the same way, relying on constant, rigorous collaboration to invent.
Right. I mean, they weren't magicians. They were just aggressively leveraging collective intelligence to raise their own ceiling.
So how do you actually build this? Because looking at the notes provided, the first step that jumps out is identifying complementary skills. You absolutely do not want to group up with your clones.
No, definitely not.
Like, if I'm great at big picture marketing but terrible at operations, I need to find a logistics whiz, not just another marketer.
That is step one. And step two is ensuring mutual benefit. Sustainable relationships require a two-way exchange of value.
Makes sense.
Yeah, if your logistics whiz isn't getting equal value from your marketing brain, that harmony we talked about just breaks down.
But wait, what if you don't have a giant network like Carnegie? Like, can a mastermind just be two people?
Absolutely. One person who complements your skills, shares your values, and is committed to mutual growth is enough.
Okay, good.
But the glue holding that duo together, and this is the crucial third step, is meeting regularly with a very specific agenda.
Right, so it isn't just grabbing coffee to chat.
Exactly. It's structured, focused work toward that definite purpose.
Wow. Believing you have to do everything alone really isn't heroic. It's actively harmful. The most successful people in history weren't isolated islands, they were hubs.
Hubs connecting talented people around a shared purpose, yes.
Which brings us to a really fascinating question to leave you with today. If a mastermind is all about synthesizing different types of intelligence to create a new, higher level of problem solving, how does modern technology change this?
Oh, that's a brilliant point.
Right. With the global internet and now artificial intelligence, if the goal is accessing a complementary brain, could your next great mastermind collaborator actually be an AI? If you're using it to challenge your blind spots and generate that third mind synergy, the definition of a mastermind might be evolving right in front of us.
Absolutely something to think about.
Definitely. Just something for you to ponder as you start building your own.